A very good morning, students. Myself, Ms. Bhagyashree, welcome you all on the behalf of Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation Education Department. And students, today we are going to study a topic from Science 1, that is reflection of light. In the previous lecture, we studied about different type of reflection, rays falling on a mirror normal to its surface, image of an extended source formed by a mirror, and image of a point source formed by a mirror. In today's lecture, we will study in detail about lateral inversion and what should be the minimum height of a plane mirror. Now, students, in this slide, you are seeing a baby is being watching his or her image in the mirror. So we say when a person stands in front of a mirror, how image is being formed, what is the nature of the image? These are the two think about it question that we are posing in this slide. So we say the nature of the image formed by a plane mirror is virtual, it is erect, that is upright, and of the same size and at the same distance. If you look at this baby carefully, you can see the image of the baby is upright, which means the head of the baby is seen as the head in the image also at the same place. Similarly, you can see whatever attire the baby is having, the same attire of the baby will be seen in the image. Okay, you can also say the size of the baby as it is before the mirror. Of course, it is appearing the same in the image also. So once again, we will see what are the properties of images formed in the mirror. The image that is being formed, it is behind the mirror. This is the one reason we are always saying that the mirror image is going to be a virtual one. Image is virtual, not real, and it is erect. Okay, by virtual, we means the image is being formed at the back side of the mirror, and it is really very impossible to locate this point where exactly the image is being formed. The image is erect. Erect means upright. The head appears at the position of head, and the feet or foot appear at the position of foot only. The image form is of the same size. So this is again a property. The image formed is at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. Mirror is laterally inverted. Actually, the mirror image is laterally inverted, which also means that our left hand right up appears to be right and right hand appears to be left in the mirror. This point is exactly we will be studying in detail in the latter part of this session. We will have a quick recap of these three topics that we studied in the previous lecture. The first one is the ray falling on a mirror normal to its surface. Now, here students, we are seeing a mirror. This black line represents the front side or the reflecting side of the mirror, and the blue slanting lines will represent the back side of the mirror. So whenever the ray of light is being approaching the reflecting surface of the mirror, definitely it is going to suffer bouncing back. So the ray of light that is being, incident on the surface of the reflecting surface of the mirror, you call that ray as incident ray. And the direction of incident ray is like this. Now what happens is definitely the reflecting surface reflects back all the incident ray that are being incident on it. Okay, so what happens is these rays again travel like this. So these bounced back rays are also called as reflected ray. Okay, if you carefully look at the direction of the reflected ray, the direction of the reflected ray will be like this. I'll show it with the help of blue color. So one can make out that the incident ray and the direction of reflected ray, it is always going to be opposite. At the same time, you can see the path along which the incident ray travels. Along the same path, the reflected ray is also traversing. So you can say that the light falling perpendicularly on a mirror is reflected back in a perpendicular direction. Here, by perpendicular mean, the incident ray is always making an angle of 90 degree with respect to the reflecting surface of the mirror. So this is how the image will be seen in the mirror. Definitely, students just make a point over here that these reflected rays are never going to meet each other. And since they are not going to meet each other, you can also say the image is always going to be a virtual one. This case is similar to what if you stand in front of a mirror. Definitely the reflected back ray are going to be, parallel to each other. They are never ever going to coincide at any point. But still we get an image. This is the reason why we call it as a virtual image. Now we will see how the image of a point source will be formed by a mirror. Here we will take a mirror M1, M2. Okay, this black line represents the front side of the mirror. And these slanting lines will represent the back side of the mirror. Now I want to find out how a point source image will be formed if a point source is being kept in front of the mirror. Now see students, we will be, you can say, one may ask me a question that what is a point source, ma'am? Okay, a point source can be anything. It can be a laser light point. So suppose if I'm holding a laser at point O and the laser light ray falls on the reflecting surface of this mirror M1, M2. We will name this rays, okay? So we say a ray OR1 is incident on the reflecting surface of the plane mirror M1, M2. Okay, this incident ray will be reflected as the ray R1, S1, which is being shown by a red color ray of light. Similarly, you can say there is another ray of light OR2 is being incident on the plane surface of this mirror M1, M2. Now what happens is this ray of light will be reflected as ray R2, S2, which is again shown with the help of red line. To make this diagram very simple, the incident rays are being shown by blue color and the reflected rays are being shown by red color. Now you can see these reflected rays are not going to meet each other, but I want to find out where exactly the image will be formed. So what we do in this case is we produce these reflected rays in the backward direction. Okay, this ray R2, S2 is produced backward. Similarly, this ray R1, S1 is also produced backward, and both these rays meet at some point O dash. So we say a image O dash is being formed where? At the back side of the mirror. If you carefully observe the distance at which the object was being placed in front of the mirror, you can see at the same distance the image of the object is being formed. So this is how an image will be formed for a point source by a plane mirror. Okay, in our case, the point source, we considered it as a laser light beam. Okay, so what inference can be drawn over here? The reflected rays do not actually meet, hence such image is always going to be called as a virtual image. The perpendicular distance of the image from the mirror is equal to the perpendicular distance of the source or object from the mirror. And always they are going to be the same. Now we will see what if the source or object is an extended source and how the image of an extended source is being formed by a mirror. Now, one thing that must be noted over here is an extended source is a source which is going to have more than one point as a source of light. Now here you can see a mirror M1, M2. This is going to be the front side of the plane mirror M1, M2, which is also called as the reflecting side. And students, if we see these slanting lines, these will represent the back side of the mirror. We are placing a pencil PQ. P represents the tip and Q represents the end of the pencil. Now, such an object would be called as a extended source. It is also called as a extended image. Now, what happens is the ray of light that are being falling on the reflecting surface of this mirror M1, M2, you can represent it with a line. Similarly, look at this distance at which the tip is situated or located. Now, what I do is I reproduce this line in the backside of the mirror. At same distance, I will get some point P1. So I'll locate the point P1 at the backside of the mirror. Similarly, if you come to this point Q, which is the end of the pencil, the ray of light that is being coming from this point is being incident on the reflecting surface of the plane mirror. If the line is being produced in the backward direction at the same distance at which this point Q is situated, we take the same distance at the backside of the plane mirror so that at some point I'll get this point as Q dash. One thing that must be noted over here, kids, is I have named the image as P1 and Q1. So we get the image of this pencil at the backside of the mirror. Such an object is going to be called as an extended object because there are many points between this point P and Q from which the ray of light is going to emanate. Definitely, we have to put on some a source of light so that the pencil itself would start emanating the light rays. Let us now move to the next slide. Now this is a think about it question. Which letter of English alphabet forms image that looks the same as that of the original letter? Let us see the answer. Basically, there are not one or two, there are many alphabets. It is A, Definitely A's image is being the same, H image is being the same. I, when it is being placed in front of mirror, definitely the image will be same. M, O, T, U, V, W, X, and Y. These all alphabet will have the same mirror image as themselves when they are being placed in front of a plane mirror. Now we will see a concept. Definitely, this is the main concept of this session, that is the lateral inversion. The definition goes like this: the interchange of left side and the right side in the image of the object when reflected by a plane mirror is called as lateral inversion. Okay, bilateral inversion, what it is, we will now see in detail. Let's look at the definition one by one. The interchange of left side and the right side in an image of an object when reflected by a plane mirror is called as lateral inversion. Now suppose if we take an example of mirror, the word mirror. A very similar things happen when you write a word mirror on a piece of paper and keep it in front of mirror. So how the image will be seen? See, this is how the image will be seen. Definitely M will be seen as M only. I, there is no lateral inversion. Definitely the image is going to be the same. But if you see R in this word mirror, they will be flipped. What is flipping? Flipping means left appears to be right and right appears to be left in the image. So this is how the lateral inversion is going to take place for the word mirror. Now students, you can see lateral inversion example in this slide. Definitely we all come across this example in our day-to-day life. Now what is happening is, towards right hand side of the slide, you can see a person is seeing his mirror image. He has lifted his right hand, but if you see the image is raising its left hand. Okay, this is called as lateral inversion. The right side appears to be left side and the left side appears to be right side. So the reflection of light from a mirror seems pretty straightforward until you move. When you move, another characteristic of an image come into picture. If you move your left hand while standing in front of a mirror, your mirror image moves your right hand. If you shake your right feet, your mirror image moves its left feet. So a mirror reverses left and right, but not top and bottom. Is the mirror doing this intentionally to play tricks with you? Not at all. It is just a matter of lateral inversion, students. So lateral inversion is also called as left-right reversal. The phenomena where your left appears as right and vice versa in a mirror is referred to as lateral inversion. Now this is again a think about it question which is appearing in the textbooks. When we hold a play card having the word red written on it in front of the plane mirror, as given in the figure A, the image of the word red gets laterally inverted and appears like the image given in the figure B. Now, if you carefully look at the word red when it is being placed in front of the mirror, definitely this is the back side of the mirror, the image of the word red is appearing like this. If you carefully look at each alphabet is being flipped. The right side is appearing to be left and the left side is appearing to be right in the image. So this phenomena is called as lateral inversion. Now see, where this lateral inversion is being used in our day-to-day life, we will now see. Why the word ambulance is written backward? Do you know? One must have questioned to oneself at least why the word ambulance is written in reverse or backward manner on a medic automobile. What is a medic automobile? A medic automobile is nothing but an ambulance which carries the patients in emergency. The answer to this question is fairly plain. It is made to appear in this way so that the driver see and recognizes the word ambulance right way around their rear view mirror and give its way preferably to save valuable moments for someone not feeling very well. Okay, now see, though the word ambulance is written in a reverse manner, definitely its mirror image will get laterally inverted and you will be able to see the correct word ambulance. This is the reason why the ambulance word is being written in a reverse manner. Now we come across a question, what if we are having two mirrors, okay? And if these two plane mirror are being placed at an angle of 90 degrees with respect to each other, and we place a small object, to each other and place a small object between them, the image will be formed in both mirror. And how many images will you see? Now let us find out answer to this question. Now students, you all see that we are having two mirrors over here. And the angle between the two mirrors is 90 degrees. We are placing a nail paint bottle in front of it. The two mirrors, they are being inclined at an angle of 90 degrees. How many images that are being formed? One can see 3 images are being formed, 1, 2, and 3. Now, what if the angle is being changed? Here you can see the two mirrors are inclined at some angle. Approximately, I can make out 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. If the angle is 80 degrees now, how many images will be seen? If we count 1, 2, 3, and 4, there are 4 images that are being formed. What if the two mirrors are placed at an angle of 180 degree? What is 180 degree? 180 degree means they both mirrors are placed in a line. Okay. So the number of image that will be seen is 1. Only 1 image will be seen. What if the two mirrors are inclined at an angle of 120 degree? Here, the angle between the two mirror is 120 degree. So what would happen? How many images are formed? This is the first image. This is the second image. Now, if the two plane mirrors are inclined at an angle of 72 degree, what would happen? Let us see. So this is going to be the angle at which the two mirrors are inclined, and it is 72 degree. We see a total of 4 images in the two plane mirror that are inclined at an angle of 72 degree with respect to each other. 4 images means the first image, second image, third image, and fourth image. If two plane mirrors are inclined at an angle of 60 degree, definitely the angle between the two mirror is going to be 60 degree. So let us see how many images that are being formed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a total of 6 images will be formed if the two mirrors are inclined at an angle of 60 degrees with respect to each other. Now one may ask, what if, ma'am, I'm not having any mirrors and I want to find out how many images will be formed. So let me tell you, students, there is one simple formula for calculating this. The formula to find number of image when two mirrors are placed side by side. Suppose if two mirrors are placed at an angle of x, in our textbook, it is given as A. So instead of x, we will be using A. Okay, so we say if two mirrors are being placed at an angle of x or A, the number of images that will be formed equal to 360 upon A or x minus 1. Okay, the formula is very, very simple. 360 upon A minus 1, where A will be the angle at which the two mirrors are inclined. What if the two mirrors are inclined at an angle of 45 degrees? Now let us see the answer to this question. This is the object, definitely a nail paint bottle. And now we will see how many images are formed. First image, second image, third image, fourth image, fifth image, sixth image, and seventh image. So a total of 7 images that will be formed when the two mirrors are inclined at an angle of 45 degrees. Now that this slide, I just took it for amusement. I just wanted to ask that where exactly the cat is sitting. So one may not be able to spot where exactly the cat is sitting. And the second question that I wanted to pose was, what if the angle is very, very small? See the angle at which the mirrors are inclined. It is very, very small. The moment the angle gets small between the two mirror, the number of images see, the more number of images you will be able to see. Exactly, the cat is sitting over here. So the moment this angle becomes smaller and smaller, the number of images that will be seen will become more and more. So what is the inference that we can make? As the angle between the mirrors goes on decreasing, the number of images that are formed goes on increasing. Now this is a think about it question that is appearing in your textbook. What if the mirrors are kept parallel to each other? Infinite number of images are formed if the two plane mirrors are kept facing each other. You can also say if they are facing parallel to each other. So you can see two ladies are standing over here, and there is one mirror over here and there is one mirror at the back side of this lady also. So what happens is you can see innumerous number of images of these two ladies. You won't be able to count. So where this property of parallel mirror is being used, we will now see. The property is being used in periscope. A periscope is a long tubular device through which a person can see object which is not in a direct line of sight. Definitely, you can see a person over here who is making use of periscope. Where we are using this device to see overheads of a crowd, by soldiers sitting in a trench to observe enemy activities outside. But the main use of periscope is and submarine to see ships over the surface of water in the sea. So how a periscope actually look like, we will now see. It is a long tubular device. There are two plane mirrors being placed at an angle of 45 degrees. A ray of light enters this tubular device, falls on the first mirror. It suffers a reflection. Okay. The same reflected ray acts as an incident ray on the second mirror, which is again going to reflect this ray of light. And ultimately, after reflection, this ray of light definitely will be entering the eye, which are going to track the activities that are being going on. Another useful application of two parallel mirrors that are being placed to each other is in barbershop. We all must be going across this situation in our day-to-day life. When we go to a barber shop or a parlor, definitely after a haircut, the barber shows the mirror at the backside of the hair so that the person is able to see how the haircut is being done. This image definitely is being reflected. It becomes incident on this mirror and the image is formed over here. Okay. Now we will see what should be the minimum height of a mirror for a person standing in front of it. Very, very important question, student. And definitely we will see the answer to it. Now, suppose if student, I'm having a mirror MN. This is the front side or reflecting side of the mirror. And this is the back side of the mirror. Now, a person is being standing here in the front of mirror. H represents the head, E represents the eye, and F represents the foot. Now, dear students, just see how the image will be formed. The rays of light from head and eyes, definitely, if you produce backward at the back side of the mirror, the image will be formed like this. This H dash is the head, R dash is definitely, and E point light is being incident at point P. Similarly, if you see the eyes and foot, the rays of light, they are being meeting at point Q. Now, one thing that must be noted over here, you can see a part PQ over here. Only in this part, student, the image is being formed. And how the image is being formed, let us now see. Don't you think this image is making this part? Okay, so how you can write it? You can say the minimum height of the mirror is nothing but RE plus ES. Don't you think this is making up this portion only, and this portion is nothing but RE plus ES? Now, if you carefully look, RE is half of HE, okay? And ES is half of EF. We just substitute this in that equation. So how the equation would look like? RE is half of HE and ES is half of EF. And if you carefully look at this, definitely we move back to the diagram. It is nothing but the half of the height of the person, which is HF upon 2. And HF upon 2 is nothing but half of the height of a person. So the minimum height of a mirror is half of the height of the person who stands in front of it. So today's assignment questions are, How many images will be formed in two plane mirror inclined at an angle of 60 degree? Dear students, we all know the formula. The formula is the number of images that will be formed equal to 360 upon the angle minus 1. In the first problem, the angle is 60 degree. So 360 upon 60 minus 1, 6 6 are 36. So 6 minus 1 is a total of 5 images will be formed if the two plane mirrors are inclined at an angle of 60 degree. The next question is, how many images will be formed in two plane mirror inclined at an angle of 45 degree? Definitely, we say the number of image is equal to 360 upon A minus 1. So this is nothing but 360 upon 45 minus 1. Definitely, you will get the answer over here. Okay. Eight minus 1 is 7 images will be formed if the two plane mirrors are inclined at an angle of 45 degree. So students, we will have a quick recap of what we studied in today's lecture. In today's lecture, we studied what is the nature of image of a person standing in front of plane mirror. Definitely, the image is virtual, correct, of same size and of same distance. Then we saw ray falling on a mirror normal to its surface. We studied about image of a point source formed by a mirror. We studied image of an extended source formed by a plane mirror. Which letter of English alphabet form images that looks the same as original letter? So the answer to this question was these many are the alphabet that are going to have the same mirror image as that of them. Next, we saw lateral inversion definition. In short, what is lateral inversion? It is just flipping of left side and the right hand side in the mirror image. In this example, we actually saw in detail what is lateral inversion. We saw when a person lifts his right hand, the image lifts its left hand. So this is appearing to be, flipping of hands. Whereas his left hand is in downward direction, here we can see the right hand is in downward direction. So there is a left and right hand side flipping. Definitely the image of the person is always upright. The head appears to be at the place of head and the foot appears to be at the place of foot. We saw various examples which elaborated this concept of lateral inversion. In this slide also, we saw the word read is being flipped. Each and every alphabet of this word read is being flipped and the image is being seen like this. Where we are making use of lateral inversion in ambulance. The word ambulance is written in backward fashion. You can also say in a reverse fashion. So what happens is it's in the image, each and every alphabet gets flipped and you actually get to see the correct form of the word ambulance. Then we saw various examples of the plane mirrors when they are being inclined with respect to each other. We saw an example of 90-degree, 3 images are formed. Then we saw when the 2 mirrors are placed at an angle of 180-degree, only 1 image will be formed. When the mirrors are inclined at 120-degree with respect to each other, 2 images are formed. If the 2 mirrors are inclined at an angle of 72-degree, a total of 4 images are formed. If they are inclined at an angle of 60-degree, a total of 6 images are formed. So in order to find out the number of image, we can make use of a simple formula, that is 360 upon x minus 1, where x is the angle at which the 2 plane mirrors are inclined with respect to each other. Then we saw how many images will be formed when the 2 mirrors are inclined at an angle of 45-degree. This was just for amusement. We just got an inference from this example, and that inference was, as the angle between the 2 mirrors goes on decreasing, the number of images that are formed goes on increasing. Then we saw a think about it question that is coming in textbook. What if the 2 mirrors are kept parallel to each other? Definitely, an infinite number of images will be formed. And this application is being used in periscope. We are making use of 2 parallel mirrors to track activity of the things that are beyond our eyesight. Okay. Last but not the least, we saw an example of barber shop, which is making use of 2 parallel mirror. Definitely, we are making it for the use to see how a haircut is being done. Okay, so barber is making use of this daily. Of course, he is making use of this application daily. Then lastly, we saw what should be the minimum height of a person standing in front of a plane mirror. Definitely, we saw that the height of the mirror should be half of the person's height. Then we saw 2 assignment question. Definitely, I solved it in front of you. And thank you, students. Have a nice day.